Out of all the cult films that get sequels, this was the one where I thought, really? But now that I have the attention from all of you studio execs out there, just want to say something. Still waiting on the sequel to that movie. Still waiting on it.
Should I shoot him?
Who, Papa?
So Super Troopers 2 is the sequel to the cult classic Super Troopers, the film that came out in 2001. And in Super Troopers 2, we once again follow the goofy law enforcement team that just likes to screw around with the public when they're out on duty. And basically, while the guys get their jobs back, they go to Canada, and while they're doing their thing in Canada, they notice that drugs are being smuggled in Canada, and they have to solve the case of who is smuggling drugs in Canada. Alright guys, so let's get into Super Troopers 2. Alright, so I'm gonna come clean with you guys. I'm not a fan of the first Super Troopers. I watched it the night before, I saw the second one, and to be blatant, I thought it was just fucking stupid. And when I went to see the second one, I talked to a lot of people who really dug the first one. They asked one question: were you stoned when you watched it? To which I replied, no. And then they said, well, you have to be stoned when you watch it, dude. And then I retorted saying, if I have to smoke marijuana in order to enjoy a film, that's a really dumb requirement. And then they said, alright, good point. But nonetheless, I went to Super Troopers 2 with an open mind, and I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I found a lot more enjoyment, and I laughed a lot more in this film. Starting off, the main thing I actually did like about the first Super Troopers was the guys, and just like in this one, I really dug the chemistry of all the troopers. I thought they were so good together, minus one who I'll get to in a little bit. But the thing I liked about the guys is that these guys look like they're having such a fun time on camera to the point where I was having a good time watching them. Now, one of the things I really do appreciate about this film is that I feel like the filmmakers really did attempt to make this film for a broader audience, which is why I found myself laughing and I found myself being more entertained by this one than in the previous film. But let's get to the comedy, and yes, I found myself laughing a lot more and actually harder than I did in the first film. There were some sections of this movie in which how these guys delivered their lines, I did not expect to not only laugh at these lines, but I didn't expect to laugh as hard as I did at certain lines. And one of the things I was really looking forward to them doing was that since that the guys are going to Canada, I was really looking forward to seeing how the language barrier would go between American guys with Canadian guys. Just seeing these guys, this fish out of water scenario when they're trying to understand the French-Canadian accent was really funny. But there was one scene in which the guys are dressed up as the Canadian cops, in which I was laughing so hard. That was honestly my favorite scene in the entire film. I do think that Super Troopers 2 is better than the first movie, that is without a doubt. But I still don't quite think it's a good film per se. When it comes to the actual plot itself, Super Troopers 2 essentially recycles the plot from the first film. I mean, the first film, the guys found drugs, and they found out they were being smuggled, and they had to find out who was smuggling the drugs. In the second film, it's essentially the same thing. Essentially, my friend and I were able to guess the big plot twist in the movie. Like, there was really no big surprise in this movie. Now, like I mentioned with the characters, I liked all the characters, minus one of them, and that is Farva. This dude annoys the living shit out of me. And the first one, I could not stand him, and here's the thing, I will not lie. He had me chuckling at one point in this film, but 99.99% of the time, essentially, I was acting like the other officers when he was trying to crack a joke when the officers were doing this. And while I did laugh more in this one than I did in the first one, there were still a lot of jokes that fall flat. And there was one running joke in which I did think it was funny at first, but then after a while, it just really grew tiresome. Overall, guys, I liked Super Troopers 2 more than I thought I would. I found it more enjoyable than the first one. I laughed more than the first one, but I still don't think it's quite a good movie per se. So all in all, guys, I'm gonna give Super Troopers 2 a 2.5 out of 5 stars. I don't think it's quite a good film for me personally, but for fans of the original, I do feel like that fans will love this film. Alright, guys, so comment down and let me know below, what is your favorite stoner comedy of all time? Let me know below. If you guys want to follow me on social media, I'm on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, and I'm also on Snapchat, so if you guys want to follow me on all those social media platforms, all the links and the usernames are in the description below. I hope you guys enjoyed my review of Super Troopers 2. If so, please hit that like button, share, and subscribe to see more reviews just like this one. If you guys want to see my review of Rampage, please click right here. And if you guys want to see my review of blockers, please click right here. And of course, until the next review, I will see you guys next time.